Welcome to Chat with Leaders. Our mission is to give resilient servant leaders a platform for sharing the inspiring things they're doing to lead their teams, customers, and themselves wisely. I'm your host, Jeff Bond, Director of Client Services with AppBerry in Atlanta, Georgia, where we build custom web and mobile apps. I'm joined today by Jeff Davis, founder and president of Southern Data Solutions, an IT expert since 2005. Jeff, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks, Jeff, for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. And I always like to start with understanding a little bit more about how you found yourself getting into leadership and what your story is. Do you mind sharing that a little bit?
Absolutely. And maybe my story is a little bit different than most, but I actually was an engineer first. So I was kind of in the trenches. And I actually I have a daughter, and I think she was maybe in the fourth or fifth grade. There was a daddy-daughter dance. Anyway, long story short, I met a guy there. His daughter and my daughter were really good friends, and he was also in IT. So we started talking. One thing led to another, and we started Southern Data Solutions, and it was mostly meant for just additional money, kind of income on the side, and it quickly wanted our full attention. So we quit our full-time jobs, made Southern Data Solutions our full-time jobs, and started growing. Obviously, in 2005, that was a great time to be in business. A couple of years later, in 07 and 08, we all felt the little pinch from the crash, but God got us through that, and we got to the other side and started growing more in 2011, 2012. So we're full on. It started out as break fix and evolved into a managed services provider.
That's awesome, Jeff. And you're such a good guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and the leader that you are. And, you know, I also go to daddy-daughter dances every year with my two daughters. And it just goes to show that you can find opportunity wherever you go in life. And the good news is that you are with your daughter, which is the most unique leadership job that you have. But you've done a remarkable job at leading your organization. Congratulations on 15 years in business. To what would you attribute some of the success that you guys have experienced and the ability to sustain a previous recession and another one that we're going through right now?
Well, first and foremost is our Heavenly Father. I give all credit to the Lord. He has helped us, helped me, helped I would say not just our staff, but our clients as well, to grow and kind of pull up our pants and go through some pretty hard times. But I definitely start there. It starts with a great support staff at home as well. My wife and I celebrated 20 years of marriage this year, and she actually
Wonderful.
works with me as well, which is should say something about her to put up with me for 20 years as well as work with me. But also putting together an amazing team of men and women that I work with. I just absolutely could not do it without them. We've got really great people that we have, went out. I mean, obviously every company has turnover, but we have really had this team, a tight team, for a few years now, and look forward to a bright future with all of them.
That's fantastic. And you're only as good as the people that work for you or with you, and your humility as a leader shines. I've met several people on your team, and it's certainly a wonderful organization. The point of this show, as I mentioned to you, Jeff, is really to give our guests a platform to share the things that are inspiring them in their leadership, the challenges they're working to overcome. And it's 2020. There's certainly no lack of challenges. We faced COVID-19 and unprecedented time of social distancing and economic decline. So it's been a tough time for a lot of businesses out there. And I know that you work with a lot of small to mid-sized businesses that are also feeling the impact. So one of the things that you said to me was it's so important to be encouraging in your leadership in this time. And that's something that you really focused in on at Southern Data Solutions. Can you talk to me a little bit more about encouragement and its importance in your leadership?
Absolutely. So, to encourage, the men and women that I work with is, it starts off, sometimes it can be small, sometimes it can be big. What I like to do is, we use Microsoft Teams for instant messaging because we're, working remotely right now. So I'll throw up a funny meme or, actually, just thank everybody for their hard work and dedication, making sure, and sometimes I share scripture of the day, whether it be something that is either laid on my heart or, something that I read during my morning devotion. We as a company always have team building events, which have been kind of put on hold because of the COVID-19, which we will continue face to face as we start to open up the world. But right now, we have a mandatory kind of all hands meeting the first Monday of every month. So I've sent pizza to all of my people so that when we have a Teams meeting, we get to see each other, like on this Zoom meeting. We can, and sometimes, some of those meetings, historically, and even recently, they don't have to talk about business. I mean, we're trying to build a family here. I think we've done a good job of it, and I will never say I. It's always we. We have done a good job of building like a family and atmosphere, so that people, we don't have to talk about Southern Day Solutions business every time. We talk about, kids and wives and, how things are going. And of course, we talk about clients and, what our favorites and, some challenges and tool sets, and just, the encouragement is a team thing for sure.
Well, and it seems so genuine to just have that personal touch, that genuine connection, the compassion. I think compassion has been a word that I've thought of and has been a common theme on this show, of just genuinely caring for one another. And as a leader, I know that that inspires people to follow and to feel heard, and to feel like there's that empathy coming from you. So it's wonderful. Talk to me a little bit about the market in the small to mid-sized business sector, because I know that's an area that you focus on. And as we are settling from the dust and moving into the recovery phases of COVID-19, which could be, some time, what are you seeing being kind of the new normal for a small to mid-sized business owner, and the things that they need to consider for their leadership and their organizations?
Great question. So, a lot of, well, so first and foremost, the small, medium-sized SMB market is the strongest. I mean, it's kind of the backbone of our economy. So I believe that there are a lot of resilient business owners out there. Yes, they will have to um, have been faced with some challenges during the time of COVID-19, but I believe that they are the strongest and will bounce back quickly. The It's going to take a lot of vision. It's going to take a lot of, maybe a little bit of sacrifice, but I do believe that as they start to come together, I certainly know that there will be more remote working, more teleworking. You may even see some branch offices close down because, they have been able to be, actually more productive because they don't have to sit in traffic. They don't have to deal with that. And, we live in Atlanta, so that's a major metropolitan area, which does have a lot of traffic. So, sometimes that affects your mood, when you face either a great ride in or you have a challenging drive in, it could affect your mood for part of the day. So I do believe that, with the right mindset, the right tool set, that we will see that clients will adapt to that. The businesses will adapt to that and use those tools to allow to not only reduce overhead, but allow for more productivity out of their employees.
And in an odd way, we're kind of thrusted into this moment of having to learn these tools. We have no other choice, and as a result of COVID, that's been in a lot of odd ways a positive thing for our businesses. We've been able to speed up innovation, communicate quicker, and of course, I realize the the magnitude of complexities that creates from an IT perspective as well when you're not accustomed to having a remote workforce and distributed team. And so I hope that that impacts your business really well. You deserve it. You're a great guy. What can leaders do to prepare for the multiple phases of recession, even beyond now, the ups and the downs of the economy as it impacts their business, to have better continuity in their IT or just overall business planning? And you kind of mentioned this already, but what are some of the tough decisions that need to be made? Maybe it's closing down branches, things like that. I mean, overall, how do you see kind of the continuance of these preparations looking from your perspective?
Well, for sure, leaders will have to, look at, what is, and we use the term essential a lot lately. What is essential to their business, and I believe that while everyone is essential, we need to, and it's more on the expenses side of things. But I think, a lean, tight ship is always in order. Which is a good exercise anyway. But like I said, I do think that the more you can position yourself to help others, you've seen big companies down to small companies reinvent themselves. Such as an example of, hey, they stopped a manufacturing line to stop producing this product and started creating masks. I think if we think outside the box and position our business to be the helping hands, even though it doesn't really deviate from what we do anyway, just position ourselves to be like, hey, we want to serve with a servant's heart, and see how we can help your business recover from, the recession.
And I've seen a lot of that, the social consciousness and actually being able to pivot towards a new reality and a new purpose that can actually pay dividends for the growth of your business as well. And perhaps your revenue streams are coming in different, unthought of ways that maybe you wouldn't have considered before all this happened. And so that's the goal, is for everyone to pull together and for it to be uplifting to our individual economies, our business economies, our global economy, and so forth. I think it's the trickle up economy now as we're looking at it versus the trickle down.
Yeah, and
Given
I think
your leadership and style, you always seek to remain positive, and you've always been an encouraging voice, and I know that you look to the Lord for wisdom. Tell me how that served you in your leadership and what positives you see as you lean into that and forge ahead faithfully.
well, honestly, I could not have taken on very much of of the COVID-19 without, being able to emotionally lean into the Lord. In fact, I don't see how others who don't have the Lord on their side make it. I know that there's been a lot of spike in depression and whatnot. But the Lord has, I pray every day for guidance, for, strength, for vision, and not just for me, not at all, for my, my peers that I work with, the people. I have groups that I meet with on a monthly basis. I pray for them, just for all of us to find strength and wisdom. You know, so back in 2017, I attended my very first small group. I mean, I've been a Christian all my life, but never really involved in churches. And I went to this small group, and it was called Freedom. It was through my church, Highlands Church, and that was really a life changer for me. And in there, I found things that I thought I had come to grips with, and it kind of revealed to me that I really did need the freedom, as the group's name was. But I, it helped me to open my heart. It actually allowed me to forgive. And the biggest thing that I got out of it was to not worry over things, especially things that are outside of your control, like COVID-19. Michael J. Fox once said that if you worry about something and it actually happens, you'll have lived it twice. So that's kind of hard on you mentally, so, and spiritually sometimes, So if you, and one thing I've I've learned, and this is most valuable, is that there's a difference between peace and God's peace. God's peace, you can be shaken but not moved, right? There is the God's peace that can bring it to you and get you through everything, including COVID-19, a recession, whatever that looks like, 6 months or a year down the road. And I believe that we live in a great nation that is full of God-fearing people, and I believe that it may not be quick, and especially as quick as some of us would like, but I believe that the economy is going to come back quicker than we anticipate.
Well, you and I come from the same faith background, and I love your words of wisdom. My call to action would be to rewind this a few minutes and listen to everything you just said, because it was truly inspiring. We do invite all people of all faith backgrounds and leadership to share their perspectives too, because I think just having faith really in this time and having something to lean into gives you courage as a leader and helps you face adversity and turn that into a seat of equal or greater opportunity, or even a different opportunity that you never imagined could be possible. And so thank you for your inspiring leadership. Jeff, if people wanted to learn more about you or Southern Data Solutions, how would they best get in touch?
The website for our company is www.therightmsp.com. That's Southern Data Solutions, or you could just Google Southern Data Solutions. But we have a LinkedIn page and a Facebook page for social media. But the best way to contact us would either be through the website, as we have all of our information about us, not just our services, but the team that I'm so proud to serve with, as well as contact me. So www.therightmsp.com.
Nice job on securing such a great domain name. And Jeff, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show. We will be sharing this episode on our website, chatwithleaders.com. If you have any suggestions as an audience on how we can continue to improve and add value to this show, I can't imagine how much more valuable it can be than having great people like Jeff on the show, but I am sure there's things that we can be doing better. So we want to hear it. Email us at info@chatwithleaders.com. You can visit all our social media handles on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Our handle is @chatwithleaders. Jeff, thank you so much for your gift of time today. It was such a pleasure to have you on.
Jeff, thank you so much, very much, and God bless.